believe this. I cannot believe this. Finally, you're here, bro. I cannot believe this. I found the lock and key, bro. I found the lock and key. But check this out real quick. I was teaching my students how to bless some water. You know what I'm saying? But let me show you guys. Let me show you this. Let me close this door. I figured it out. This is the possible code matrix. I'm calling this the third one because the first two I did it in my head. And the first two has some hiccups in it. And I clarified those hiccups. In my previous video, I said that it's per page and it's not per page, that the words that repeat. The words that repeat per chapter is the words that we have to exclude. I'm going to give you guys the possible breakdown of the whole complete matrix. And if you feel called to help me out in decoding the Bible, I appreciate any help that I can get. Let's get started. This is not limited to Genesis. So number one, the first thing that we're going to do is words that repeat. Mentally, you're going to put like an X on those words that repeat, and you're going to amplify the words that do not repeat. Those words that do not repeat create. What number two is a possible poem, message, directions, or prophecy, or all of the above. I do not know. I'm just looking at the message as what I can think that it may be. But the words that repeat do not get excluded because the words that repeat can possibly be a Morse code. And also words that like it was so or it was good or he, words like that are part of another code that I see. They're a part of a pattern that is separate from this. But this is the basic structure. This is the bones to the message. And I'm going to show you how to get it. So the words that repeat, you X them out, right? The total number of single words is called the T pound W. I want you to remember that, right? So the T pound W create the message that we get per chapter, right? The total verses per chapter in Genesis 1, there's 31 verses. Every chapter in Genesis has a different amount of verses. So we have to take that into account, right? Why would they do that? There's a reason for that. There's a reason why they made it like that. They could have broke it down evenly. They would have had about 30 verses per chapter, but they didn't do that. They didn't do that. So this is a way that we can check our work. So 31. 3 is 1. 3 is 1. You know what I'm talking about? If you know what I'm talking about, the Trinity is 1. A lot of people speculate on that, right? The Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. 3 is 1. So check it out. 3 is 1. So here's how we check our work. We simplified the VPC. The total verses per chapter in Genesis 1, there's 31 verses. So we simplified the VPC by adding them. 3 plus 1 equals 4. I want you guys can take a snapshot of this so you can have this. Simplify the VPC. So 3 plus 1 equals 4. That's our first VPC for Genesis 1. If this works for Genesis 1, this has to work for Genesis 2, for Genesis 3, Genesis 4, and so on and so forth. Acts, Proverbs, all of those other chapters. But check this out. Then we get the total number of words. So the total number of words that we got from number 2, from excluding the words that repeat, the total number of words that we got from that message, I'm going to pop it up right here on the screen. This is the message. It's 49 words. We add 4 plus 9. That equals 13. 1 plus 3. 1 is 3. So 3 is 1 and the 1 is 3. That's a whole nother hidden code, right? So the 3 is 1 and the 1 is 3, right? So that adds up to the number 4. So the total number of words that we get add up to the VPC, so to the verse per chapter. So the verse per chapter lets us know how many words we're going to get in this most simplified version out of this whole equation, out of the words that do not repeat. That's crazy. So then check this out, right? So this is another check. So since we did it on number 1, we could do it on Genesis 2. So Genesis 2 has a VPC of 25. It has 25 verses per the chapter. So 2 plus 5 equals 7. I'm speaking fast because you can do the math in your head too. 2 plus 5 equals 7, right? So that's our first VPC. It's 7. So the total number of words for Genesis 2 is 97 words. We can see the number 7 pop up here in the total number of words. Like we saw the number 4 pop up in the total number of words here. Already the number 4 popped up, which is a simplified number. The simplified number already pops up here in Genesis 2. So 9 plus 7 equals 16. 1 plus 6 equals 7. So it comes up to the number 7 again. So here we see the number 4 to let us know we're on the right path. And here we see the number 7 to let us know that we are on the right path, right? So those are 2 checks that I got. And this is my possible final check to let us know that we got the correct words out of this chapter. Because what words words matter, right? So one time I heard this amazing sermon about how God is the verb, bro. If you never heard about the sermon, or many people that speculate that God is verb, it's amazing. Look into it, right? And God is a noun, right? So I never forgot this. I never forgot this when I heard that sermon. God is verb, God is verb, God is action, right? So I'm like, okay, so boom. I'll go back to the board. I'm like, I got to run this through the board. So I subtract the total number of words, which is in Genesis 1 is 49 words. I subtract that from the VPC, from the verse per chapter. So 41 minus 31 equals 18, right? So the total number of words minus the VPC equals the amount of verbs that are in this message that I got. So there should only be 18 verbs in Genesis 1. And there are only 18 verbs in Genesis 1, bro. In Genesis 1, there are only 18 verbs. The amount of words add up in Genesis 2 to the VPC in Genesis 2. The amount of words, the total number of words add up to the VPC in Genesis 1, bro. This is the lock and key. This is the lock and key. If you want to do this, you can do this yourself, bro. Hey, yo, I'm going to get back to work because I got a lot of work to do. But, see you later, bro. Go do what you was doing. Go do what you was doing. Because you're not helping me. You're not helping me. You're just scrolling. You just keep on scrolling. Keep on scrolling. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to see you later. And yes, this is funny. Yeah, but this is helping me. I'll see you later. Go!